Tonight we have a guest speaker, Ms. Danielle McNeely. She is a certified personal trainer, a health and wellness coach, and a proud owner of Sassy Fit Diva. A dedicated entrepreneur, she empowers women to build strength, confidence, and a positive relationship with their bodies through fitness and nutrition. As an Army wife, a boy mom of 4, and a psychology student completing her second master's degree this November, she brings a unique blend of real-world experience and academic expertise to her coaching. With a passion for helping others embrace self-love and healthy habits, she is excited to speak with all of you tonight about body positivity, self-esteem, and nutrition. So, help me welcome Ms. Danielle McNeely.
Good evening. Can everyone hear me? Do I need the mic up?
You need the mic. Get the mic.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I need to turn it off. I turned it off.
Yeah, so my mic didn't work.
Hold on, I turned it off. Make sure y'all sign in, and come in.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I heard a few of you all say you just got back from practice, you're exhausted, you're hungry, and all that, so I will try to wrap this up and keep it cute, okay? Short and cute. All right, as Miss CC said, or Miss Cecilia, I'm not sure what you all call her. Miss CC mentioned, my name is Danielle McNeely, and I am a certified personal trainer. I've been training since 2015. I've lost 100 pounds naturally. I've just been inspiring women to take control of their mental and physical health. Okay, so we're going to start off with talking about the power of nutrition. All right, so how many of you all think or know that you eat right? You make great food choices. Just one? Two? A few? Okay, so I want you all to understand that nutrition plays a very vital role in how you perform on and off the field, how you perform in your classroom, and how you show up for yourself in your day-to-day life. When you consume a bunch of junk, you're normally tired. It shows up in your skin. It shows up in your attitude. Like the foods that you eat really make a difference on how you are as a person, how you look, and everything. So not only does the nutrition fuel your athletic, abilities, it also gives you mental clarity. Have you ever been anxious about something, you just find yourself munching on chips, candy? That's what stress will do to you. And of course, we'll pick up Snicker or a bag of chips or something, and then that's because it gives you some type of comfort. So what I like to recommend to people, when you start feeling any type of anxiety or feeling uneasy about something, let's get out our pen and paper or your cell phone and journal what you're feeling. Because you need to be able to come back to those feelings to say, hey, when he made me mad, I started eating chips. Or when I have to study for a test, I get nervous and I start eating cupcakes. So you need to know what triggers you. That way you can maneuver through it. Okay? So some of the simple tips that I like to give as far as tracking your nutrition, I know nobody likes to really count calories, of course, but it is very beneficial. So if your goal is to lose weight, you need to do what? As far as when it comes to nutrition. Do you eat more calories or do you need to eat less?
More. Less.
Okay, so let's think about it like our checkbook. We start off with $1,600. You know, every time you buy something, what must you do to that number? Subtract. Same thing with calories. If we start off with 2,000 calories for the day, and we go to McDonald's and we get a Big Mac meal large with a Coke, that's 1,200 calories right there. So how many calories do you have left for the rest of the day? 800 calories. And that was just your lunch. You already had breakfast. You went by McDonald's again that morning, and you got that Frappuccino, bacon cheese biscuit, 2 hash browns. You are definitely over the amount of calories that you should be consuming. So when you look at it like that, that's your answer. That's how you have gained weight. That's the reason why your midsection is like that. That's the reason why you feel bloated. That's the reason why you have fluid on your wrists and your ankles. Like, these are things that, as a woman, you have to start paying attention to. You gotta pay attention to your weeks when it comes to your cycle, because your body changes from week to week. So, and the food, of course, plays a role in how you cramp, how you bleed. Your fitness does as well. If you're actively working out, trust me, you won't have a 5-day unless you have some type of medical, issues or something. But you won't have a long cycle. You won't have a heavy one, and you won't cramp like that. So keep all that in mind when it comes to your nutrition. Now, before we move on with nutrition, is there anything that you all want to discuss when it comes to nutrition, protein, hydration? Do y'all drink water? Yes. Well, I know it seems like a silly question, but it's not. I have clients. The water's nasty. That's why you look like that.
Wait. Well, yes.
I mean, drinks, sodas or whatever, it's easier to grab stuff like that versus water, because water doesn't technically have a flavor, but you can spice it up by adding fresh fruit to it, squeeze a little lemon, or a Crystal Light packet. Now what you see on TikTok where we're adding sugar to the water, that's Kool-Aid, not water, okay? Protein. Who knows how protein affects the body? Or your weight loss, your building up, because everybody wants a booty, right?
Yes.
And you have to do what besides working out? Can I just do squats and get a butt?
No.
I gotta have the right amount of protein with the proper exercise. Okay, so before we move on with the nutrition, any questions about the nutrition and arguing over if you got a booty or not a booty? Anything?
Can you explain the difference between macro and micro?
So that's counting your proteins, your fats, and your carbs. So we were just talking about calories.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, or we're gonna say Sheila. Miss Sheila is 425 pounds. Now, Miss Sheila wouldn't have the same body goals as I would have, because I don't have to lose that much weight, okay? So Miss Sheila would mainly focus on counting just calories, overall calories. Now, I don't want you all to get confused with, like, we're not thinking about our protein, but for the most part, she would need to focus on her overall calorie goal. But as a student athlete, you all, you want to be cut, you want to be fast and stuff, so you will focus on the proper fats, because there is a such thing as healthy fats and churches, Popeyes fats. We don't want the Popeyes fats. We want like avocado oil. That's a healthy fat. Fish oil, salmon. Those are your healthy fats. We don't want the chicken with the skin on it and the gravy and the biscuits, that type of stuff. So when it comes to the macros, you're doing protein, fats, and carbs. And you all do know it's a difference with the carbs. Not all carbs are made equal. So if I'm eating chips and she has a potato, which one would be the healthier option, the potato or the chips? the potato. So this with people like, no white rice, no white bread, and no, for Sheila, because Sheila is significantly large. So maybe no white for her. But when it comes to, average, and I don't want to use the word average, because everybody's average is different. But for someone who's trying to build, lean out and stuff, having potatoes, that's not going to kill you. But Sheila would need to avoid. Yes, ma'am.
What do you think about fiber?
Fiber. We definitely have to have fiber. Fiber does what to our gut? Well, first of all, our core is what? What is a core? Think about science. The core is what? The center of you. So if this is our center, we have to keep it healthy, right? Because the gut controls your mind as well. What you eat shows up on your skin. It shows up your hair. It shows up basically everywhere. So if you're not using the bathroom, your stomach will look like there's something in there. You ever seen somebody who's a size 6, but they got this baby looking thing in there? That's probably because they're full of the stuff. So you definitely want to increase your fiber. If you are having problems with, I don't think a lot of people realize, especially us African American women, that a lot of us are lactose intolerant, meaning dairy should be cut out from our diet. So another reason why it's important to keep a journal. Now in this journal, you don't have to just necessarily document food, you document everything. That way you'll know, like I said, how your body's responding to everything, stress, food. So for some of you all, after you eat cheese, you might notice you're uncomfortable, your stomach is bloated, or you're constipated. IBS is another common factor in African American women that a lot of people don't know they have. So if you've ever had, like today, you might be regular, go to the bathroom, no issues. Tomorrow, you produce these little, I like to call them rat droppings. If you've ever had, but that's a digestive issue. That's something that you would need to get looked at. Because I have clients who, they say they do everything right when it comes to nutrition. Because that's another thing, accountability, which we'll talk about that. So you have these, like I said, these little rat droppings on the next day. And then the third day, guess what? You can't even go to the bathroom. That's a digestive problem. So fiber is really good to have. They have different supplements where you can just eat, eat more fiber-rich foods. So you definitely want to keep, especially as you get older. Trust me, you won't, as easy as things are for you all now, because I had to learn the hard way. As you get older, you're going to go through some changes, okay? I haven't went through them, I'm just saying. You're going to go through some. Okay. So any more questions about fiber or any other nutrition before we move on? Yes, ma'am.
I've heard that you can take as much protein as you weigh in a day. What do you say for student athletes? Should we be doing that or should we be doing less than that?
So it really depends on what your goal is. If you're trying to lose weight, protein is very good for losing weight. Like Miss Sheila here, I would recommend that Miss Sheila loads up on her protein. But the rule of thumb for protein, because I've seen some crazy numbers. People hit 200 grams of protein a day. And being vegan, it's not necessarily a struggle, but it's a struggle when you've given up your 600-pound life weights, to eat better. So I would say, how tall are you?
5'9".
So, yeah, so a good 120 to 145 in grams would be good for you. And for those of you who are not vegan, it is so easy for you to consume, which I'm not saying being vegan is not. But I want y'all, I forgot y'all in the dorms. So, but do you have access to like boiled eggs or something? You can, eggs, turkey, chicken breast. It is so easy for you all to get the 120, 150 real quick because you want to think like everybody hates Chris. The big piece of chicken. Not the big piece of chicken from Popeyes, maybe. You can pull the skin off, because I don't want to discredit Popeyes. There's one trainer that I follow, he purposely gained 55 pounds to show that it's not about what you eat. It's about the moderation and how you balance everything. Remember we talked about those numbers. And he lost it by eating Popeyes and Haagen-Dazs. No lie, he documented it. But he wasn't eating skin on chicken, okay? So keep that in mind. All right, anything else about the nutrition? So would you all say, just by show of hands, that your self-esteem is pretty high? Let me tell y'all, it is perfectly okay if you have low self-esteem. At some point I reached it to where self-esteem was just, and it was more so of environmental issues, and what I mean by that is, this person got something to say. This person, you're a wife, you're a mother, you shouldn't. And as women, of course, even little cleavage, little tight jeans, they try to put you in these boxes. So then you try to dumb it down. And then you end up developing low self-esteem because of you've allowed somebody to paint a picture of how you should be, and that's not reality. Okay, so if you do have low self-esteem, it's something that you can increase. Okay, so don't be ashamed of that. It's something that we all have to eventually work through. And what helps self-esteem is taking care of yourself. When you feel good, what you want to do? Get your hair done, get your nails done, put on a little lip gloss or whatever. But you don't necessarily want to do that when you're not feeling well physically or mentally. The end of 2019, I fell into a depressive state. Found out I was pregnant, COVID hit 2020, had to shut down the studio, had to pivot on training clients on Zoom, which I had no idea of how to do. I was used to using equipment, but fast forward, God put me in a position, which I didn't know at the time, that he was setting me up to be able to train from home with using chair and pillows. And that's the honest to God truth. I had my son in June of 2020. I think I gained probably about 35, 40 pounds. I was back at the 200 mark, couldn't get the weight off. And that really messed with my self-esteem, as well as the, everything that was going on, COVID and things, and it was kind of difficult to come out of. So remember we talked about the people that you surround yourself with? Now I'm not sure if you all are familiar with Miss Kalisa over here, which her and Miss Cece are friends or whatever, so I met Kalisa first. Kalisa introduced me to Miss Cece. And after having my son and trying to still show up for them, I let myself, kind of go whatever. Because I got women to train. I got people looking out for me. I got my son and my husband gone with the military. Like, it was a lot. One thing I said to Kalisa, I said, you know what, for I think it was 21, I said, I'm going to start putting on lotion. When you're depressed, you don't care about being ashy. Some people don't take baths. Some people don't brush their teeth. Like, it shows up different for everybody. You might have a messy room, messy car, or whatever, but I wasn't putting on lotion. I was just walking around the house ashy. Because I literally just had to get up, log into the computer, do their session, and I would go back in my room. I couldn't even tell you what my house looked like. For the longest, I just stayed in my room. But me just telling her that, for Christmas, she got me some lotion. Now, it seems silly, but then right there, I was like, hey, she's paying attention to what I'm saying. And just starting something simple, putting on a little lotion, that was a form of me taking back, control of my life, taking care of myself. So that boosted my confidence. Like, okay, then I said, okay, I'm sorry, get my hair braided. Because when I tell you I wasn't doing nothing, I don't even remember how I was showing up for Zoom, how I was looking, But you want to make sure that you are putting you first. And I know life gets super busy, especially with schoolwork, sports. I play basketball, so I already know how it goes. You want to make sure you are prioritizing yourself, okay? And with self-esteem, you want to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with people who genuinely care about you, okay? You don't need people in your ear, oh girl, you think, and you this, and you that. You don't want those type of people around you, because it plays a role in how you see yourself if you're not strong-minded, So keep that in mind with what you're listening to, what you're watching, the people that you communicate with. Okay, so all of you all are on a team, and you have to depend on each other, correct? So how do you think it works for a person who has low self-esteem, how they show up for the team? So if we're out here, I don't know softball, okay? So I'm gonna stick with the basketball. If I'm dribbling or whatever, I don't believe in myself, Kalisa passed me the ball, am I gonna take the shot, or I'm just gonna pass it? Because if I don't believe in myself, what am I taking a shot for? So if you don't believe in yourself, you can't really show up for your teammates. And you won't perform in the same way, you would as a person who believes in themselves. Who all caught the fight Friday night? Javante Davis, Tank, Lamont Roach. Okay, if you didn't catch the fight, you don't know who these people are, please look them up. Lamont Roach, he came out swinging. I know he had been listening to Kendrick. He definitely, because he came out, people had talked about him. Oh, he ain't gonna be able to handle Tank. Maybe he ran Tank around that ring. And to me, he won, but they said it was a draw. But because of his confidence, he was able to get out there and, I'm gonna say, whoop the actual champ, even though they called it a draw. Because he literally knocked him down. But had he not had that confidence, trust me, he wouldn't have been able to show up and do what he did. And guess what he told the reporter? The reporter wanted to know, how was he able to do that? He said, because I'm him. I'm him. So, Insecure, Issa Rae,
Yes, that's my show.
Mirror, you know how she talked to herself?
Yes.
Talk to yourself. Start showing up for you, because it makes a difference. You gotta believe in yourself. Okay. The dangers of negative self-talk. I think it was Pastor Mike. He said that we don't let people talk to us crazy, right? You ain't gonna let nobody be like, girl, you don't. Okay. So why do we do it to ourselves? Why do we convince ourselves that we're not good enough? Why do we tell ourselves that we're not pretty? Why do we tell ourselves all this negativity? You wouldn't let nobody else come and tell you that. So why are you telling yourself? So think about how you talk to yourself. Those of you who are church goers or believe in God, read the Bible. There's power in the words that we speak. They do come to fruition, regardless if you believe it or not. It might not show up today, but it will. And I'm speaking from personal experience. That's why I mind my business now. I really don't talk about people anymore, because it will spin the block. So be careful with the words you say. If you know you want to be a professional softball player, or basketball, or swimmer, or singer, or the president, speak encouraging words over yourself. Anybody do daily affirmations? They got one going around on TikTok, real popular. People, turned up. Like, you have to, this stuff works, y'all. Because I don't know if you're paying attention, but the world is kind of burning or something right now. We live in crazy times. So it's easy to get distracted and become unmotivated and, with everything that's going on. So find something that can help motivate you, regardless if it's journaling. And remember, you do not have to go and buy this fancy notebook. They got notebooks at the $1.25 Plus Tree. Okay? You can get that and write. Everybody got a phone. You can get in your notes, put it on there, and if you have a laptop and an iPad, all this stuff transfers. So you have it wherever you go. You just need to take your thoughts and put it on paper. And that's another way to see your blessings come to pass too. Write it down and believe it. Work for it. That's the part that a lot of people leave out, the work part of it. Because faith without what?
Works.
It works. It's the works part. See, a lot of people just believe from the couch. Like, yeah, you can't just believe from the couch. Hey, I wanna lose weight, but I just sit at home every day and don't do anything. It doesn't work like that. Okay. Self-love, depression. Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Women are the #1 drivers of the U.S. economy. Do you believe that chemicals and beauty products and foods play a part in developing low self-esteem and/or negative mindsets?
So, I don't necessarily believe it's the products per se. I believe it's the hands that get on the products. So, during COVID, the BBL was popping, right? A lot of people took their stimmy checks and went and got a BBL. That's fine. That's cool. But as Ms. Tia Kim said, the BBL, that's not what that was for. That was for some, professional type of stuff. So, to me, it is the hands that get on the product. Because see, the way I can present lip gloss may be totally different from the way Ashley presented. Ashley, could make it seem like you're not that girl if you don't get there, when for me, it's just, hey, we're moisturizing our lips. So it's how it's perceived and how it's presented. The facial creams and all, like, it's okay to moisturize and put on lipstick and all that. But no, with or without it, you still are beautiful, you're worthy, and so I guess I would have to disagree that it would be the products, it would be the people promoting the products, for me, in my personal opinion. So did that answer your question, or?
That kind of did. So, for instance, right now, there are multiple lawsuits out against the makers of several perm companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are lawsuits out against several hair products, and basically, we see in a lot of studies, we see that a lot of chemicals are playing a part in the function of not just women, but also men as well. For instance, like after pregnancy, right?
Mm-hmm.
During pregnancy, women have to take a certain, what is it called, sorry,
The folic acid.
folic
yes.
acid,
Uh-huh.
right? But then, once you get off the folic acid, it actually does something to your body that mimics that that depressive stage because you're off of those chemicals. So although I do agree with you, it is the makers of a lot of the products that we have, but have you looked at any studies that correlate some of these chemicals to like low self-esteem, depression, stuff like that?
Now, when it pertains to weight loss, yes. So the surgeries, which you all, I am not against any cosmetic surgeries. If you want your breast done, you want whatever, do it. Whatever makes you happy. But understand that what you're doing is taking one addiction, creating another addiction. So there are studies where women and men who have had weight loss surgeries, who have committed suicide, because this is where the problem is at, up here. So if you don't fix this, you're just going from one thing to the next. A lot of people develop, they start doing drugs. Some people lose their mind. I mean, because it's never gonna be enough. If you're looking in the mirror like, I've lost 100 pounds, but I don't look like her. You're not supposed to. So my recommendation would be, for whatever it is that you're trying, let's fix this first. Let's fix our minds first. Because I can tell you all day, you're beautiful. If he come and tell you, well, I like her better. Who you rocking with? What I said or what he said? Because, of course, I ain't got, you know, you gonna rock with him. So, and then you're gonna try to fix yourself to be something else. But to answer your question, sir, like I said, as far as the weight loss drugs and the surgeries, there are several studies where it has created depression. Well, I would like to believe that it was already there, you know. So you already had these mental, you already had these thoughts. You were unhappy. And you thought that going to get this surgery was gonna make you happy. It doesn't work like that. That's why you see rich people kill themselves. It's not about the money. It's about what you think, what you feel. Prioritization and time management. What time do y'all wake up? Who wakes up at 5 a.m.? Well, first of all, most classes start with like 8? 8, okay. Practice?
We be on 4, 6, 4:30.
Okay. So y'all got to get up because of practice and stuff, right? Now, how do you all manage your time when it comes to, you got a game out of town, this teacher wants homework, this one wants you to do a test, and your friends want you to come somewhere? How do you make all this stuff happen?
Usually I get way.
And you found that waking up early, tackling tasks before, allows what?
I don't have to do it later.
It allows you more time, you got better mental clarity. So let's say y'all practice start at 5 o'clock. You shouldn't be rolling out the bed at 4:30. Everybody go, you walk in at 5 o'clock. Wait, practice start at 5 and y'all walk in at 5?
Did you meet her?
Oh, where y'all go to?
That's a great question.
Because, but, so, time management is so very important. Now, right now, y'all got it a little easy compared to once you actually graduate, and even if you don't start a family, you get out on your own, you get a job. I had a client, and I have a YouTube channel, you all, and I do weekly accountability coaching with those who need that guidance, that extra hand holding. From Saturday's call, I asked the girl, I was like, because she kept saying, you know, she's struggling with her nutrition because she got to eat on her way to work. What time you got to be at work? Oh, about 10. I said, so what are you doing in between? Because, you know, I got to do this, I got to do this. So what are you doing with, I guess I got to, what time do you wake up? a few minutes before it's time to go to the gym. So, I usually wake up about 4. Yeah, I know. That's why I gotta hurry up and wrap this up. I gotta leave. But, I usually wake up about 4 and I'll go ahead and get started on what I need to do. I keep everything in the calendar with alerts, laundry, put a camera in the car because I didn't want to forget that. Stuff like that, that makes my life easier. And when you don't have direction, you don't know where you're going, that's enough right there to stress you out. You know, so you wake up a little earlier, maybe to read for the test that you have 4 days from now. I don't know, do y'all do discussion questions? When are they due? Wednesdays? End of the week, when y'all do?
A week prior.
Okay, the week prior, I like that, the week prior. But so ours are due on Wednesdays and Fridays. And now Monday I don't do anything, but on Tuesday I go ahead and do everything. My paper that's due Sunday is already done. My 3 discussion questions are already done. Because on the weekends I like to do nothing. Or something. Whatever. I don't want to be bogged down with fitness or work or anything serious. You know, you need to learn to prioritize your time, because what end up happening, what I'm finding out is that a lot of people are not prepared for the real world. And like y'all said, y'all arrived at 8. You can't do that at a job. Because if your time, if you're supposed to start a shift at 8, what I always tell y'all as clients, if they session start at 5:30, why are you just now pulling up at 5:30? You should already be in here. Because I'm here. I'm waiting on you. So guess what? You just short that time. Because I'm not letting you make it up. You wasting my time. And that's what you will find out once you enter the workforce. A lot of people are not going to play with you when it comes to time. Time is money. And that's the truth. So like 15 minutes, that's a lot. That's a lot of time. That's time for me to put on a load of laundry, warm up some pancakes for my son, transfer this money, go over here, throw this music on, feed the dog. But you just sit up here and you done came late, now you on my time. So keep that in mind. You have all the tools you need in that smartphone. That's why it's a smartphone. Put your test in there. Try to work ahead of schedule if you can. Don't wait till the last minute to do stuff, because you never know what happened. Something, it could be an emergency or something. Then what you're going to explain to the teacher, because guess what? And this is no lie, y'all. I had a baby. I told the teacher, I said, look, the reason why this late, I literally just gave birth yesterday. She said, that's not an excuse. And this was before we even had all this Wi-Fi stuff. Like, the hospital didn't have Wi-Fi, so you telling me having a baby was not an excuse. So, a lot of people don't do excuses. Keep that in mind. Everybody's not going to coddle you and play with you. So if you could get started on your time management now, it will show up on the field, in your classwork, in your mental health. It's going to show up everywhere. Any talk, discussion about time management?
Danielle,
Like,
can I
yes.
say something? So, Danielle brought up a really good point that I think some of y'all should start to think about, especially in our seniors. While you're in college, we provide a schedule for you. You know you have practice, you know you have weights, you know you have class at this time, you know you have practice, maybe again or whatever, you know you have a game, you know you leave this day. We or your coaches provide that for you. So we're giving you that structure. When you step out into the real world, you take on that task of creating your own structure. So there's a shift and a transition for our student athletes from being a student athlete where you have a lot of structure to being just a regular person who has a lot of free time, and you have to learn how to utilize those time management skills. So really just start to think about that and creating your own day, like she said, starting it early and continuing so that you have enough time to get everything you want done. Because right now, it's in our hands, but once you leave here, it's completely in y'all's hands.
And I'm here to tell y'all, I'm dealing with grown women who are still struggling with this. Like, I had to ask one of them, are you even washing up before you leave? Like, what are you doing? Are you taking care of your hygiene? Because there's no way you can get up and go to work, because it takes about 15 minutes, you know, to get around town. The time ain't adding up, so you're falling short somewhere, you know. So, make sure you are prioritizing your time. Figure out what your non-negotiables are. And being a full-time entrepreneur, meaning I work for myself, meaning nobody tells me what to do. I had to learn, like, girl, you can't sit over here watching whatever all day. You can't be on your phone playing. You can't be scrolling on social media and other people's business. Because guess what? If I don't work, I don't eat. The difference between somebody who clocks in, they can get a check regardless. I used to do it at the library when I worked there. I was back there watching TV at my desk, but I still got a check. I can't do that at home. Because if I don't provide the services, I don't get paid. I don't get paid, I don't eat. So, those of you who want to work for yourself, anybody want to be an entrepreneur? I'm not gonna stand up here and tell you it's all cakes. It's all, you know, rainbows and sunshine. There are days when I want to be like, I want to just say forget it. But the freedom is, it's unmatched. So those of you who do want to do it, please just go for it. Don't let nobody talk you out of it, because we all got to try something. And if you fail, try again. You know, nobody got to where they are by stopping. You got to keep climbing no matter how many no's you get and how many people don't want to, you know, do your service, whatever it is that you're wanting to do. Oh, schedule weight classes and trainings. Do y'all work out on your own? You know? Okay. So make sure you do understand that the fitness world is tied to your mental health, okay? What you eat, and like, what happened to the man? But anyway, he brought up about the chemicals and the products. It's chemicals in your food. It's chemicals in the air. And there's data to back it up. So it's not necessarily the products. Just make sure you're making the best decisions when it comes to you. And by that, I mean whatever works best for you. All right. Any questions? Yes.
As student athletes, can you speak a little bit about proper recovery, whether it's after a game, weights, just what that should look like?
Yeah, so that's my struggle. I don't know. It runs out sometimes. I don't know how to sit down. But I do, I've changed it. I do Monday through Friday. Sometimes I take Friday off, so Monday through Thursday, and I rest the weekend. But you can stretch, you can walk, you can do your massages or whatever. I don't know if y'all have all that here. Okay. But do keep in mind, on days that you're not training, you can't eat the way you ate when you were training. You know, it's a huge difference. So if you're one of them ones who you train hard Monday through Thursday, Friday you got this, Saturday over there, Aisha's, Sunday you done did that, then Monday you wake up 3 pounds heavier. You know why? Cause you overconsume, that's what they call a calorie surplus. You ate more than what you should have eaten over those days. And a lot of it could be water retention, you know, but still, you're defeating the purpose. What was the point of training hard, dying on this day, only to sit up here and audition for 600 pound life on the weekend? It don't make sense. But, rest is not, it's mandatory. And that was something I had to learn. It's okay. You know, it's okay to rest. But rest does not mean 3 months later you still resting. You know, just take a day or two and recover. Then that's it. Make sure still you're doing your protein. Like I said, stretch. And if you're like me, you can't be still. Set a timer. Cause I'll start stretching and honey, that beat hit and I'm doing something else. So just, you know. Any more questions about? Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
talk about those who want to gain weight in a healthy way?
So what are you trying, when you mean gain? Cause when people say gain, really what they be talking about the hips and the booty. So what we talking about?
Just overall, like, someone who feels like they're smaller than what they should.
Okay. So let's talk about the nutrition for someone who wants to lose weight, and then we'll tie that in. Sheila would do 46 ounces of protein. She would do 1/4 a cup, which is 2 ounces of a carb. And she would do a cup of veggies. Now for Ashley, who want to gain weight, Ashley's gonna hit up about 10, 12 ounce piece of chicken, or 2 pieces of chicken, or a steak, or whatever animal you select. And then her veggies, she could still do the cup, but when it comes to the carbs, she could add more, you know, of that. You still want to work out, because this is the unfortunate thing about it. You can't spot train. You can't, I want the weight right here, I want the weight right. You can't do that. That's not how it works. When you eat, it's going well, it might show up in your fingers. I don't, you know, you never know. So you want to make sure you train in the areas that you want to keep looking the way you want it to look. For those of you who do want the BBL look, the upper body got to be trained. You see them people walking around like Shakona Joe? Just more bad built.
Saucy Santana.
Saucy! You wonder why they got them arms.
Santana?
Well, he got Elon Musk. But, no, I'm saying when you see somebody be like, oh my God, look at her waist and her booty, but her arms and that backpack. Yeah, it don't match. So, upper body train. So just make sure you train in them areas that you definitely want to pop, where you're eating more or less still. You gotta train. And that's the reason why people hire trainers, because you don't know. Like, okay, if I want, because the thing I always hear, squats. I'm doing the squat challenge so I can get a booty. Which squats you doing? Do you know how many different variations of squats there are? Okay, call that one up. Okay, got it. Right. So did y'all know, depending on how you stand, what you're hitting? So if my feet are this way, what do you think I'm targeting? The hips. So you can't have a booty without training the hips too. So you got hip abductors and all that. That's why you see the people with the bands and all. You gotta, yeah. And then certain squats. So if I just squat like this, that's not glute focused. But if I push the thing back, that's glute focused. So you gotta know what you're doing. You know. Okay. Any more questions about
Are you taking any more clients?
Yes, I am taking, clients, so, as I mentioned, I had a studio in Pine Bluff when COVID hit. Like I said, I had just had a baby in June. I decided to close the studio, and I turned my garage at home into, like the studio. So we work out, they come to my house, and we do everything there. So you have the option to do in-person or hybrid. So I like to keep up with time, so if you wanna do, on Zoom, on rainy days and log in, come. But, it's March Madness, and I understand you didn't sign up for sports, but you will do something based on your, what you can do. Because I'm not one of those ones who tell you, if you tell me you got a bad knee, I don't care. No, that's not me. We're gonna find a modification. So do y'all just work out, or when the beat drop, you drop? Yeah, so in between sets, you gotta get turned up. You gotta motivate yourself. If you one of them boring workout people who just, I can't do this. Because while I'm breathing hard and about to die, I'm still finna hit this twerk real quick. Okay? So, Instagram, Sassy Fit Diva, Danielle McNeely.
You have a newsletter, daily newsletter.
So once y'all go on my Instagram, it's gonna be a link in my bio, and it'll take you to everything. It'll take you to the email subscription, which for those of you who you're trying to figure out life, just sign up. TV on Tuesdays. So I send out an email every day. On Tuesdays, it's about TV. Whatever show I want to talk about or that's hot, that's popular right now. I don't even know if y'all know who Harriet the Spy is, but last week she died. And so that's what the email was about today, Harriet the Spy. Tomorrow, Wellness Wednesday, Thursday, Throwback Thursday, Friday Vibes. I usually give information on things you can do if you are booed up or if you're single, if you have kids. At home, inexpensive DIY types of things. On Saturdays, it's a grocery list with meal prep ideas. Sundays, it is a self-care, self-love. You receive a journal prompt. You also, it's usually like a DIY, maybe it's a face mask or a hand scrub or body scrub or something. And then on Mondays is meal planning Monday, so you get a recipe or whatever the recipe, is. So that's in the link under the bio on the Instagram and on TikTok. Yeah. Oh, did I mention TikTok? Yeah, TikTok. She trains, Danielle McNeely. She _trains.
With a Z. With a Z.
Yeah, with the Z.
There's free workouts on the TikTok.
Yeah, so you have your core, glute, and do y'all have a stability balls in y'all? So if you don't want to necessarily lift, like we talked about the recovery days. To me, recovery means I'm gonna do a workout, but I'm just not gonna do it's hard. Yeah. So the stability ball, your body weight. That's what I'm saying. You don't always need it. You won't always have access to this stuff. So you might be like me. You don't really want to be in the gym with other people. So learn to do some of the things from home, and that's what's on the TikTok. A bunch of workout videos and meal prep and all that. Any more questions? And I'm sorry, those of you that are hangry, that is a real thing. It is. Okay. Well, thank you all for allowing me to come in and speak with you all.